Ooh, this is a spooky one. I don't know if I should tell this one, but let's tell it anyway. I was reading the comments and this story popped out to me, and I think it's a good story. I think it's a good break from the romance stuff and, just talking about all these first kisses and all this other stuff. Ew, who wants to hear about that? But by the way, I'm no longer dating the person in the other video, so don't worry. I'll always be forever alone. Anyway, this is going to be my creepiest moment, or at least what I consider to be my creepiest moment. I have some other stories, but I'll save them for later, or I'll list something. I'll list something at the end of the video for you guys to comment on. So back to the story. It wasn't really that long ago, maybe a year or two ago. My best friend Danny and I, and yes, we still are friends to this very day. We're hanging out. We were hanging out at his house, normal day, just like any other, and we decided to watch a few YouTube videos because Netflix was getting pretty boring and we didn't have much else to do. Now, before I begin, Danny is pretty weird to most people. Like, he follows the occult stuff and does these weird spells and rituals and stuff, but that's all pretty normal to me because I've known him forever. He has all these statues and random herbs in his room that he uses every now and then. Again, I'm used to this, so whatever, I don't really care. And I've been to his house so many times that none of it really phases me. So we decided to watch a few YouTube videos, and I pick the majority of them for a while because I'm weird and I like to watch a lot of random stuff on YouTube and go on a video chain to see where the videos lead me to. Like, you know how you go from, like, I don't know, watching cute animals to watching, I don't know, those weird, like, what is it, those popping videos? Oh my goodness, ugh, those are so bad. I hate those videos so much. Okay. But I go on these weird video chains and I get to these weird places, but it's fine. But the videos that day weren't really that interesting. I wasn't finding anything new, so I let Danny go on and find some videos that for us to watch. And he asks if it's okay for him to watch his occult stuff, and I say, yeah, fine, that's okay. I've never really been into those rituals and all that spiritual stuff, but I've never been one to really judge people on their beliefs. So I just tag along, and most of the time, by the end of the video, or most of my experiences, I find things pretty interesting. So Danny puts on a couple of his videos, some of them about lucid dreaming and some of witches and rituals and stuff. So it's caught my interest and I'm watching with him. After a few of these videos, Danny starts to tell me about the spirit that's actually in his room and that he acknowledges to be actually there. I'm kind of confused at this point. But he says it's an old woman and that she's got a very kind touch. And I have no clue how he knows this stuff, but I could ask him now and he'd probably have a new story or new experience that he'd want to share. And I wouldn't know the first thing about any of that stuff. So he tells me about the spirit and how she feels a little different today. She's not really angry, but she's upset about something, and I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just going along for the ride. I got no clue what most of this stuff is. He isn't too experienced with this, so he's a little confused as well, but he doesn't know why she's upset. So I'm just sitting there, and I watch the videos because I got no clue what he's talking about. So eventually he stops paying attention to the spirit, and we continue to watch the video. One comes up that's about witches and who knows what, and stuff gets really freaky even for me. like this is a part that you guys, if you really don't like creepy stories, you should probably click away. So a few minutes into this video, I turn around and I see Danny. His head's face down and he's not talking. He's in this weird trance state, like he's not all there. And I don't know what caused it. I try calling out his name, but the words don't feel like they're coming out. Like, they're not really there. I feel myself saying it, but it doesn't feel like it's actually, the word itself is coming out. Then the voices come. Faint, but I know they're there. I can't make out any of it. I can't tell what it's saying. I have no clue what's happening. But it's more like a whisper. It's voices, but I know it's a whisper, and it's faint and it's far away. But I'm freaked out, and I don't know what's happening. This is something I've never been experienced with, and I don't know what the heck is going on. And, it's just a really freaky experience. Eventually the voices stop, and I'm able to, shake Danny back. He doesn't know what happened, and assumes that he just fell asleep while watching videos, but I saw him. He was whispering. He was definitely whispering with it, but I couldn't make it out either. So now we're both more of, aware of the situation and try to turn off the TV to get ourselves back into the right mindset. We're both freaked out here. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. So, but the video is still playing. So I pick up the controller to stop the video, but it's dead. Danny walks towards the TV to turn it off, and the video changes. The TV gets like super loud, and it's this cartoon video, and it's Spanish, and I have no clue why the heck is it in Spanish, and it's just really loud. It's this pig or something. I don't know. It's like this pig show. I'll try to look it up, and I'll put it in the comments or in the description or something. I got no clue what that video was even about. But eventually we turn off the TV and talk about this freak experience we just had. I tell him about him being in a trance and whispering, and he still doesn't remember. He pulls out his EMF meter thingy, which is this thing used by ghost hunters. It's to like see the electrical whatever's in the room. I got no clue. I'm really not one to be explaining this stuff. So then he starts waving it around the room to see I don't know what. The thing starts beeping. Danny says that the spirit's still there, and I'm like, oh god, what? I don't understand. There's like a spirit in here. What do I do? I'm not experienced with this. So he goes over to his drawer, and he takes out a few of his statues and his herbs and whatever, all the stuff that I was talking about earlier, and he starts doing some kind of ritual. Everything's still weird to me at this point, and I'm just, confused and pretty shook up from what happened. But after a while of Danny saying some incantations and words and stuff that I got and he's burning his herbs and stuff, the room feels a little better. I don't know how to explain it, how a room feels better. I've got no clue how to explain that. But it felt a lot more peaceful. Like, it's not hectic. And it feels the complete opposite of what it felt like earlier. He pulls out the meter again, and it's not beeping. He lets out his breath of relief, and he says, it's all good now. He's pretty shook up too, so I stay with him, and we go back to Netflix. And I don't think he's gone on YouTube for those occult videos anymore. Anyway, that's the end of the story, and I don't really have many other ghost stories to tell, but that was my creepiest one. I hope I didn't ruin any of your days /nights, and I don't worry about Danny or me. I'm still not really interested in that stuff, and Danny still keeps his rituals and whatnot to himself. We're still really good friends, and I'm happy to have him in my life. So thank you all for listening to my creepy ghost story. It really was a terrifying experience, but I'm over it, and ghosts still don't really scare me. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you have any other stories you will all want to hear about, then go ahead and comment them, and the ones that stick will be written almost immediately. Thanks again, and peace out, everybody. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention that. I said I was going to give you guys a list of other stuff, or at least suggestions of videos or stories for the next coming episodes. So I saw in the comments that you guys want to know about my first ever girlfriend. That's a good one. There's also, I've been on a few vacations that have been really interesting. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of stories from high school that I'm not too sure about that could be good, and I'm not too sure how they're going to play out in a video and how I would write them as stories. So just go ahead and leave me any suggestions in the comments, and I'll go ahead and see if any of them ring a bell or if any of them really click, and I can write it down almost immediately. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and have a great day. Peace out, everybody. Bye. And I keep forgetting, every time I end one of those recordings, I keep forgetting to mention something. I've actually got some more stuff to talk about. There's some comments that let me know that you guys really want my webcam. You guys want me to do all these stories in front of a camera, and as much as I would like to, there's some issues that I have to work on here before I could do so. One of which is my living situation, and the others are kind of more of that my webcam is really bad, and I would like to get I'd like to get a better one before I do any of that, and I'm poor, so I can't really afford doing any of that stuff just now. So I want you guys to be a little bit patient with me, and I hope you all are just enjoying just enjoying my stories, and I'm as much as I'm enjoying making them. So again, for the third time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Peace out, everybody. Bye.